Lunchtime Lifestyle Lab with me and Niamh. Hi, Niamh.
Hi, Dougie.
How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Looking a bit glam today. What's going on?
Well, I decided to put on a frock just for you, Dougie dear.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, no. Well, it's not true, really, is it?
No.
I'm going to work after this.
You've got a gig?
Yeah, I do have a gig. I have a private party. I'm going to go sing some songs for some lucky people up in the mountains.
Nice.
I know, yeah.
Don't expect that usually on a Tuesday.
I know. It's a lucky one. I think it's a birthday party. So I'm very much looking forward to that. But I've been more looking forward to this and coming in and talking to Dougie.
Yay!
Yes.
So how we been? How have you spent your week?
Dougie, I'm so incredibly busy. I just can't keep track of everything. What have I been up to? I've been walking quite a lot. I've been looking after the kids. I've been working. I've been singing. And thank you very much to you. I've been getting our recording of our show up online so that people can have a listen in if they miss the live bit.
Well, guess what? The one that I uploaded last week, I uploaded to the wrong YouTube account, which has got no subscribers because it's not actually the one we use. So I'm in the process of sorting that out. But,
it's not a bad thing, really. It was our first show. It was
but it was good.
It was brilliant.
Of course it was.
We were wonderful.
Expect nothing else. Now, so from the 1st of this month, you started your 28-day challenge.
I did, yeah. I started with a group of people doing the 28-day step challenge because you know how important I think movement is.
Absolutely.
And so I'm on a mission to see as many people as possible move their body. So I run the 28-day step challenge every month. Great group on board. I have people in Australia, I have people in America, people in Spain, people in UK, and they're all stepping. And what we do is we count our steps every day with a little bit of nudging and cajoling and encouragement and pushing from me. And obviously it's up to them really, isn't it, to get out and move their bodies. But it's lovely to have a group community where we can all hold ourselves accountable and get out there moving. So that's going really, really well so far this month. I run that every month on the 1st of the month. I think sometimes we get a little bit lethargic. We get tied up in work. We get tied up with our commitments and we forget the most important thing. And you know what the most important thing is, Dougie?
Go on.
You.
Oh, not me personally.
Absolutely. You personally and everybody else out there, you are the most important person in your equation.
Can I just say how inspirational you are? Because last week I made a start. Now, I kind of, on the 1st, I only did about 2,000 steps, if that. So it wasn't a good start. But the following day, I'd made a conscious target of 10,000 steps.
Okay.
Made 12,000.
Nice.
And done roughly the same, around about 10 to 11,000 ever since. So I'm on course. Yeah.
You see, we spoke about this last week, didn't we? And I really think if you're into your fitness at all, you should get some type of Fitbit, Apple Watch step counter on your wrist because it's so motivational. It's what I call the secret ingredient to keeping you motivated, because if you don't know where you are of what you've achieved yet during the day or what your target should be, well, we drift. But if you get that Fitbit on your watch, on your wrist, it's fantastic.
It does help.
It does help. So if you hit like 6,000 and you think, well, I'm only 1 or 2 blocks away from hitting 10, it's a great motivational tool. Yeah.
Now, last night, yesterday, I went up the mountain. And I had to for a technical issue that we needed to sort out. And that last bit at Sagaria where I told you about, where one of our transmitters is, really steep, really steep. And in fact, my dog loved it, but I had to go up twice because I left my phone in the actual transmitter site. So that's not a bad thing, mind.
No.
Good exercise. But when we got back, I still said to my dog, right, we're going for our stomp to the port and back. So that's what we did. And we made 13,000 yesterday. So that's all right.
You see, Dougie, I'm super proud of you. And
I'm surprised.
Sincerely proud of you because it makes me all warm and fuzzy inside to think that I didn't even have to drag you by your ear. You did it yourself. I'm so chuffed.
I know, but that's just how inspirational you are, you see. Because,
I don't know if I'm inspirational or if you're just terrified. I'm not sure.
Well, there is that as well. There's a bit of each there, But no, I was really pleased with the way things are going. And, in addition to that, I haven't given up the booze completely, but I have not touched a drop during the week.
Okay.
So just at the weekend, little treat, wine with my dinner, nothing too crazy, but
And that's what makes it a treat, isn't it? If you don't indulge every single day,
exactly.
and if you look forward to it on a Friday after, rather than it becoming a crutch every single day of the week, when we look forward to it on a Friday just to have a few, just to wind down, it becomes a different presence in our life.
Absolutely.
But like we spoke about again last week, I was kind of depending on it every single day. So it wasn't even a treat anymore.
Me too.
It was just par for the course.
Yeah.
So things like that, being more mindful about our movement, counting our steps, a little bit more mindful about what we're drinking and eating, all those things add up to a healthier, wealthier in health you. So well done, Dougie. I'm delighted for you.
I think the main motivator was how much I'm going to save.
Well, there's that.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll save money and time, and you'll add time and energy to your body and your life. Speaking of which, I was up at 2:30 this morning because I needed to drive my other half. I didn't say better half. My other half to the airport. So I was up at 2:30 this morning. We left at 3, got him up there, and I was back in bed at 5:10. And I thought it would be interesting. Yeah, and it took me ages to fall. Do you know what happened? I got back into bed and I had cold feet. Yeah. And when you're just too tired to get up and get a hot water bottle. So I was kind of raging with my feet. But I thought it would be interesting today because we want to talk about all things wellness, don't we? So I've had an awful night's sleep and I have a big, big day ahead of me. I thought it would be interesting today if we touched on the topic of sleep and how really important and valued it is by many people, because it's the unsung hero, I think, in our wellness. It's so significant. So I thought it'd be a nice little chat. While I'm here dozing off, my eyes are closing, let's try to perk me up with a little chat about sleep today. If you'd like to talk about sleep, Dougie, would you?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I don't sleep all night, ever. I mean, I wake up about 3 or 4 times a night. Usually for a trip to the bathroom.
Yes.
Because being of a certain age, that's par for the course. Not much you can do about that. Yeah. But, I'm also terrible at going to bed early.
Yeah.
And in fact, this week, because I've done a bit more exercise, I've been really, quite knackered at times. Yeah. But the energy levels will get better. But of an evening, I mean, my dog's the same. He's like that. Yeah. In the bed, he's like, yeah, thanks for the walk, but switch everything off now. And we've had a couple of early nights, which have been fantastic, and it does make a difference. Floyd
will be working with his natural rhythms, and he won't be fighting them, and he'll be working with daylight and nighttime, and he'll be wanting to go sleep at the right time. Us as humans, we put all types of obstacles in our way to going to bed early, but it's important to keep in mind as well. You've heard of the expression night owl and early bird, right? There are night owls and there are early birds. So some people, in fact, are designed and will be more productive to get up early in the morning and work from early hours. Other people, it just doesn't work. No matter how much you fight nature, you might well be naturally a night owl. So in fact, forcing yourself to go to bed early, although you think it's the right thing to do, if you're naturally a night owl, it might not be. So go with what your gut tells you from a productivity point of view.
But what if you've got to get up early in the morning? I mean, quite early. I mean, sometimes I won't go to bed till 2. And I'm up again at 8. Yeah, so it's not ideal.
No, it's not, because you're not getting enough sleep.
Right.
Quite simply. And sleep is crucial. Restorative sleep is crucial with regard to fighting illness, with regard to having a long and healthy life. Believe it or not, people who sleep better live longer. It's as simple as that, and the science proves it. So if you're not getting enough sleep, you need to address that. 6 hours, however, might be enough for you. There's no rules or regulations as to how many sleep hours you should have. Generally speaking, they say between 7 and 9 hours. So if you're doing 6, you might not be far off your 7, but it's down to you, and you know it's something that you just need to become more aware of and understand more your sleep requirements. A lot of us don't give it the credit that it's due. We squeeze it in between the lines. We ought not do that. We ought to give it proper attention. Back to the Fitbit or the step count watch. You can monitor your sleep on there, because you might go to bed and what you feel is 8 hours sleep might not be. It could be 8 hours of really bad quality sleep. That's not giving you the restoration and the new renewed energy levels that you need to be super healthy and fit and productive and happy and in a great mood the next day.
Right.
There's a lot to do with it. I mean, there's an awful lot to sleep than we think.
I can't sleep with me watch thing on.
Really?
Can't sleep with that on.
All right.
No. Ooh.
Fair enough.
I've tried that. I've tried it, and it's just not.
It's not happening. Okay. Well, we won't insist then, because we want you to get a good night's sleep.
Is there another way?
To monitor your sleep? No, I don't.
Really,
not that I know of. I just follow my little heart app thingy-me-jiggy on my. I think you just know. You know when you wake up in the morning, you know the whole thing of putting the foot on the wrong side of the bed. If you're cranky, if you're not feeling energized, when I wake up in the morning, I'm ready to get up out of bed. It doesn't cost me anything because I've had a good night's sleep. Keeping in mind that I had insomnia for 14 years, chronic insomnia, and it cost me a lot of energy. It was very, very stressful period in my life. And then when I quit alcohol, I started to sleep again. My goodness. And if anything is going to deter me from picking up a glass of wine, it's the gift of sleep I've given myself. So I go to bed, I fall asleep. I have 7.5 hours sleep, which is 5 90-minute cycles, because your cycle should be approximately 90 minutes. I think that goes from awake to light sleep, to deep sleep, to REM. And then the cycle goes around again and again. I'm not going to get into the science of it because I'm not qualified to do so, but it's, that's your sleep cycle. It's about 90 minutes and you need about 5 of them, and that is a solid good night's sleep. So imagine that I, for 14 years, lay in bed, raging, twisting, turning, stressing, anxiety, worrying, up, down, in and out of the bed. And I also had what is the worst possible thing you can sleep with? A snore.
I was going to say that.
A snoring husband.
Oh boy, I've come under fire for that many a time.
It's such an affliction to the person themselves who's snoring, because it means they ain't getting a good night's sleep.
Well, I mean, I very rarely hear myself.
No, you won't hear yourself, but I think your body must, and so it's reacting to the snoring. But as for the partner involved, my God, the amount of times I wanted to stick something in my husband's eye. You can see my face right now, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the snoring partner. Yeah, let's move on from that before I start to have.
I've had partners before who wore earplugs, so I was kind of okay there.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't that bad, but I mean, it would have been affecting me and my sleep, no doubt. But yeah, earplugs, there you go. That's the way forward, apparently.
Yeah, no, it is. Or honestly, I think a lot of people do tend to they go in separate bedrooms.
Yeah.
And we don't talk about it out loudly, but if it's got to the point where it's affecting your relationship and your mood and how you feel about your partner, just go to a different bedroom, because your sleep is more important than the painful torture of sleeping in bed with a sleeping partner.
Yeah.
Just leave them there. Let them wallow in their snores. Find yourself a lovely space and have a good night's sleep. That's my advice.
Sounds like good advice. BayRadio, hello, how are you? It's Dougie here, the Lunchtime Lifestyle Lab.
You've also written down my name and you've spelt it correctly.
Yes.
That's not usual. People call me Niamh and I just go with it now because
Really?
it caused me too much anxiety. 48 years of people getting my name wrong. If you're going to get agitated by it further, I've given in. It's fine.
It does look like Niamh.
Niamh.
with the on the end. But yes. Anyway, where were we?
We started talking about sleep, didn't we? Because I had a really bad night's sleep last night. I went to bed early enough, had a lot of problems falling asleep because I was anxious because I knew I had to get up very early, I think 2:30 a.m. to drive my husband to the airport. So obviously having anxiety, a little bit of stress, worrying about sleeping in, not hearing the alarm means it's
Doesn't
more
work.
difficult to fall asleep. So I finally nodded off and the alarm went off and it must have kind of gone off. It goes against your natural circadian rhythms. So it went off in the middle of my sleep. I was, oh, jeez, where am I? And drove himself to the airport, came back, and again, like I was saying earlier, trying to fall asleep with cold feet when I got back. So anyway, I'm in one of those moods where I know I've had a bad night's sleep. And it's interesting because now that I do sleep well again, I'm so aware of how it affects me the next day. If it doesn't, if I don't, I really worry about it. I embrace my sleep so much. Sleep, glorious sleep. And I think it's a great one to talk about because a lot of people aren't aware that sleep is so essential to our health and wellness. It is bad sleep or unhealthy sleep or not the great restorative sleep that you're getting is going to cause all plethora of illnesses down the line. You didn't know that, did you? A lot of people don't. That it can cause coronary disease, it can cause obesity, it can cause depression, it can cause high blood pressure just because you're not sleeping right. And why is that? Because this time that we sleep is the time that our body recuperates and restores itself after a busy day. It's not just about nodding off and switching off. It's actually about recovering on a cellular level, about our bodies, getting over what they've been through that day and getting ready for the day ahead. So your 7.5 hours, 8 hours sleep is crucial to your health and well-being. It affects your immune system. It affects your metabolism. And like I said earlier, your mood. So if you wake up after not having enough sleep, it might just be why you're so cranky or you're not getting on well at work or you had an argument or you're, a little bit impatient with the kids. Have a little think about, well, did I have a good night's sleep? Yeah, so...
But like you say, it can vary from person to person as to how long you actually need.
Absolutely. I think there's loads of things you need to consider, and it's about finding your own, requirement. I think genetics come into it. Age certainly comes into it. How active you are as a person will come into it. If you're very lethargic and you don't move an awful lot, it might be that you don't need as much sleep. If you participate in exercise every day and your muscles have been pushed to the limit on a regular basis, you're going to need more sleep. I think as well, it depends on what you've been up to long term. So, if you've had a really busy month, it might be that you need a couple of nights longer sleep. Again, it's about rejuvenation, restoration, and respecting your body, giving it the sleep
Listening to it.
that it needs, the sleep it desires and that it craves. So have a good listen to your body. It's sometimes easier said than done, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, we need to get a good night's sleep. Let's just go get an 8 hours night's sleep. But there are issues at play as to why we might not be getting a good night's sleep. I don't know about you, Dougie. You might you said that you have an interrupted sleep. People of a certain age, like yourself and myself, there's no question that we're going to have to pop up in the night to visit the loo. But there's certain things you can do to avoid that. Drink less. Maybe have a cut-off point at 7 o'clock and say, right, no more liquids after 7 o'clock, which is a problem if you're out late or if, you're having a couple of drinks with some friends. But try your best to limit your intake of liquid after 7 o'clock. And that'll certainly help you having to jump up and down to do the loo run. The other thing that is important when it comes to your sleep is getting enough daylight and getting enough nighttime light. Yeah. So the balance between daylight, nighttime light and natural light and synthetic light, because that affects your natural rhythms. So if you're sitting in the dark all day, your body isn't quite used to knowing, well, is it bedtime yet. So yeah, get out in the outdoors as much as possible. Have your windows, daylight windows, have your windows open, fresh air, all those things to give you a natural rhythm as to when it's bedtime. And that'll help you nod off easier. The whole stress situation is always an awful... I'm going to use, what word can I use? Fecker. Can I say that? When it comes to sleep.
Acceptable.
I tell you what, stress murders sleep. And therefore we have to find ways of managing our sleep. Or at least if you're in a stressful situation or you have a stressful life or you have a stressful job, find ways of managing your stress pre-bedtime. Okay, so have a nice routine where, your lights are low. I'm talking candles. I'm talking a bath before bedtime to maybe regulate your body temperature. The whole thing of devices, social media, blue light screens, Netflix, loud music, all that stuff. Just knock it on the head. Give yourself the best night's sleep. And I'm not saying you have to, have hours and hours of this before bed. You can give yourself a 45-minute or a 30-minute routine before bedtime just to wind down, to relieve stress, and that'll give you a more solid, calmer and natural rhythm of a night's
They
sleep.
do say keep your devices out of the bedroom.
They do, but who does?
Yeah, true.
I
need mine for a wake-up call.
Now, don't
It's
talk.
an alarm. It's an alarm clock.
This is a myth, and you know it. Get yourself an alarm clock.
An actual alarm clock.
An actual good old-fashioned.
What is this? The dark ages?
Pop to the market and get yourself a good old-fashioned vintage
one.
alarm clock. Stick it. I mean, there's means and ways.
Yeah.
Because what happens is we grab our phone in the middle of the night if we're unsettled at all. And it's too enticing.
Yeah.
It's really difficult not to look at that notification or not to read that message. And then that message leads to another message or leads to thought processes. The phone, it's again, a murders sleep. I mean, I have it beside my bed. But I'm very lucky in that I don't wake in the night usually, so I don't need to reach for it. But yeah, first thing in the morning, I grab it and I see what's gone on and what I've missed. I'm working on it.
Tell you what, actually, this whole thing about gathering information. There are vast areas of land which house all our information, and they're talking about water being used for these cooling systems that is creating a water shortage everywhere, in the States mainly. But it's really weird because I was watching a film last night. Film that I think I might have glanced at back when it came out in the 80s. A film called Brazil. It's Terry Gilliam from Monty Python. He directed it and did all the animation stuff for it as well. But it's like an Orwellian almost prophecy, if you like. It was like them saying, you do realise that all your information is going to be gathered and that's going to be worth currency and it's going to be power, whoever's got all your information. And that's exactly what they predicted then in the 80s, and it's exactly what's happening now. It's the weirdest movie to watch, but it's slightly dystopian, and the whole bit about gathering information on everyone. They predicted that in the 80s when this film came out, and it's actually happening.
And did it make it twitchy? Did it make you twitchy before bed?
It actually made me think, oh, yeah. That's exactly what they said was going to happen. And it is happening. So, no, I don't actually pick up my phone unless it's just set the alarm. And the reason I use it, I don't look at my phone overnight. If I wake up, I won't pick it up. And all notifications and things, noises are off.
Brilliant.
Because they drive me nuts anyway.
Yeah.
But the thing I do like about my alarm phone is the fact that it starts off really gently.
Oh.
Because if there's one thing I hate, and it's an alarm that goes, wake up, like that, really, and makes you go, oh, sugar.
Yeah.
What the heck is that? Oh, yes, my alarm. But no, this one, it creeps up really gently and slowly, and then you hit snooze. And then the next time it gets louder and slightly louder until it goes, come on, what are you doing? That I like.
Yeah, that's right, because an old vintage alarm clock would certainly be quite an aggressive wake up, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, mine is quite subtle as well. Having said that, my natural sleep pattern is literally 7.5 hours on the dot.
Really?
Yeah. And that's why last night is a funny one, because I had to get up in the middle of the night,
Right.
come back and try to sleep a while again. But yeah, I have 7.5 hours solid sleep. Can't sleep any longer, honestly. I just can't. My eyes wake up on the button, usually, and then the alarm goes off. It's interesting. So yeah, no, maybe the vintage alarm clock is not for you then. I can imagine you just waking with stress. Let's not do that.
I would probably wake up and then throw it against the wall.
Yeah.
I don't like a rude awakening, shall we say.
Yeah, but I mean, I think we do need to be very aware that we were able to sleep soundly. We were able to wake up and we were able to function quite normally without having a phone beside our bed for quite a long time, weren't we? So there's no harm if you are having any disturbed sleep to consider maybe just leaving the phone outside. The notification thing is really interesting as well. And if you just YouTube, there's so much help online. How do I turn off, alter notifications on my phone? Mine are all off from 10 o'clock in the evening.
Oh, mine are off permanently.
I have no bing-bings.
No.
Yeah, no bing-bings, but I literally don't...
Bing-bings?
I have no screen notifications, nothing from 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because if anybody needs me, and certainly from my business WhatsApp as well, I will have a message to say, if you need me after 10, call me, because it's got to be urgent, right? If somebody needs me after 10 p.m. So yeah, the notification thing is important, because those bing-bings in the night, not funny. No. And it's interesting because my step challenge at the moment, it's run on WhatsApp. So we communicate on WhatsApp, and I have people from all over the globe. So I have people posting their steps in the morning. It's somebody else's nighttime. So we need to be careful with the bing-bing. So I always have a conversation with the people in the group beforehand. Make sure your notifications are off.
Yeah.
So that the Yanks aren't annoying the Aussies, and the
exactly,
Spanish aren't annoying the Brits.
Oh, time differences. Ooh, yeah.
I know.
Yeah, no, I've fallen foul to that in the past. I've got to say hi to Mike. Hello, Mike. He said he's never heard of the film Brazil, but he's just checked it out online. And Rotten Tomatoes give it 98%, which is the highest he's ever seen. That's how good it is. That's how... Well, it'll blow you away. I mean, it's such an old film. But yeah, it's worth checking out. But just for the fact that you're like, oh my God, this is really happening. And
the interesting thing, I suppose, is that I don't know what class of movie it was, but it might have been classified as sci-fi back in the day.
Well, it was.
But,
I don't know, I suppose part of it's got a certain element of comedy about it, but also a bit of a warning, a bit of a, but it's a, look, pay attention to this. This could happen, and it is. Imagine what's going to happen in the future. The movies we're watching now that we imagine to be unrealistic or OTT. I'm still waiting for those flying cars they were promising us. I mean, it was when I was a kid, I thought the year 2000 was going to be spacesuits and we'll be driving around in flying cars and everything. It's not happening. I was not far off. Not far off. Yeah, but I mean, it'd be handy as well to have a flying car, and you can an automatic driving, and then we can sleep, can't we? Yeah. Well, yeah. I was don't know if I trust them. I was almost asleep myself in the car on the way home last night. And you were driving? I was driving. Christ. Yeah. I know the motorway, and I was very alone on the motorway. There wasn't a lot of traffic, so I had the radio on, volume up, volume down, window open, window closed, all that just to keep me, because my body was saying, "Go back asleep, girl." Well, thank goodness you didn't. We are just about coming to the end of the Lunchtime Lifestyle Lab. And what can we add? Well, we were talking about sleep, and I think it's really important, really briefly, because I know we only have a couple of minutes left, to pull out a couple of the tricks that we might have up our sleeve as to how to have a good night's sleep. I'm listening. These are all obvious, but they're all really important. So let's just say we need to lower our body temperature. Right. And the way we can do that is... That's not difficult at the moment. Well, yeah, but you don't want to be cold either, do you? The cold feet and the cold fingers. So lower your body temperature if possible with a warm shower or a warm bath before bed, and that's going to de-stress you as well, because obviously we need to be de-stressed before we go to bed. A schedule is important if we can go to bed at a regular time every day, because if you're all over the place, your body doesn't know what's going on, your body clock is skewed. So try your best to have some routine. Like I said earlier, try to experience daylight and darkness during the day. Again, that's going to assist your body clock and your natural rhythms to understand what time bedtime really is.
yoga, meditation, mindfulness, all those lovely tools we can use to help us remain calm and have a good night's sleep. There's apps like Headspace, Calm, things like that. If you're struggling, download an app and see if that helps you at all or assists
What's
you.
Headspace? I don't know this.
It's one of these meditation apps. So you'll have nice voices and wonderful calm music before you go to sleep, just to help you switch off from all the chaos that you experienced during the day. Another great tip is stop napping. I know.
I'm guilty.
Well, you know, it's a little cat nap maybe, but they do say if you're having difficulty sleeping at night, knock the nap on the head. So consider that. If it's not affecting your night's sleep, don't worry about it. Nap away. Breathing before you go to bed. You know the whole counting sheep thing? That's kind of like rhythmic breathing. 1 sheep, 2 sheep, 3 sheep, 4 sheep in and out. So rhythmic breathing, it just calms you. It focuses your mind. It calms you into a point of where you're about to doze off. Try to exercise. Don't just sit on your backside all day long because you're not going to be tired, are you? So try to get out, get some fresh air, stretch your limbs, have a walk, go for a run. Go to the sea, let the air, the air blow through your hair and all of that, and it will tire you out. They do say fresh air makes you tired, and there's a reason they say it. Be comfortable in bed. It might sound obvious, but if you have too many blankets, too few blankets, if your pillow ain't right, if your mattress is lumpy, all that is going to affect your sleep.
Guess what I did this weekend? See how my life has changed. Saturday, instead of going out and getting a bit wobbly, I went out and bought some new pillows. Yeah! And I've had the best sleep this weekend.
It's so good. It's so obvious.
Amazing. I know.
So obvious. Go
Yeah.
out, everybody, and treat yourself to a nice pillow today and help yourself sleep well. Yeah, there's loads of things we can do, and we know it. You know, spicy food is going to interrupt our sleep. Too much sugar is going to interrupt our sleep. Caffeine too late in the day is going to interrupt our sleep. It's all obvious, but it's nice to come here together, have a chat about it and remind ourselves so that hopefully people can take a little bit of what we've spoken about today and apply it to their lives if they're struggling at all with sleep. Oh, and get rid of the snoring.
If you can.
If you can, knock that one on the head ASAP. But listen, guys, if any of you have any questions, suggestions for the show, if there's something you'd like to discuss, please drop us a WhatsApp, because otherwise it's just me and Dougie talking about what we feel like talking about. And we'd like to know what you'd like to know.
Yep.
So give us ideas, questions, anything at all. Keep in touch with us here in BayRadio so that we can give you what you want to hear. How about
And
that?
finally, if my dear listener wants to know more about you, they can go to your Walk Your Way Well.
Walk Your
website.
Way Well. Yeah, I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I'm very active on Facebook. So just look for Walk Your Way Well. I have a wellness community there and I have a page.
And this is all nationalities, right?
All nationalities. We come from everywhere and anywhere. We're from all corners of the globe. Mostly we just like to talk about being well in ourselves, and that's something I can chat quite freely about and happily about. So yeah, join my community or just drop me a line on Walk Your Way Well. And lovely, lovely, lovely being here again, Dougie, as always, on Lifestyle Lab, learning to live the limitless life that you love.
Yay! See you next week.
See you next week.
BayRadio.